product under 30 changed your life. Story 1A Fire Extinguisher. When my front porch light randomly exploded in a huge fireball at 2 a.m. one Friday morning, the lovely fireman said that it was only my quick reaction with my little fire extinguisher that saved my house. At 20 investments saved everything I hold dear. Story 2 I bought a cheap tire inflator at Kmart sometime in the 90s. Still have it, still works, still indispensable, plugs into 12V lighter and has saved me many times. Story 3 It's a repeat purchase under 30, but supplementing magnesium glycinate has drastically improved my sleep quality, which has had numerous positive effects in my day-to-day. Story 4 Squashmallow Pillows. I have bad back issues. I kept seeing those dumb things in stores and thinking they looked comfy as a pillow. Finally pulled the trigger. As a back pillow, I haven't found anything better. I just got one of the RELY big ones at Costco for like $30 and it's big enough it supports my whole body, not just my lower. Highly recommend them. Plus cute as. Story 5 Costco Pack of Dental Floss. I have one dispenser in my car, office, kitchen, bathroom, and living room. Now my gums are nice and healthy all the time. Story 6A Sleep Mask with headphones built in. I've had insomnia my whole life and this has been a game changer. I just put my mask on and fall asleep to ASMR, usually stories or facts. I recently listened to some interesting ones like the Vault stories from Fallout series. I even listened to Elden Ring lore one even though I've never played. Story 7 Clothing Blanks. I like good quality, comfortable clothes. I don't like paying brand premiums to get them. So now I just buy the blanks that the brands buy for like 15th the price. And the wife has a Cricut, so if I ever want to design on a shirt or cap or pants, it's pretty easy to accomplish. Story 8 This book Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents How to Heal from Distant, Rejecting, or Self-Involved Parents 10 on Amazon. Have never felt more seen. Story 9 Meat Thermometer. And I don't even know that there's a close second in this. Instant red pen thermometer has forever changed the quality of food I make, and has got me comfortable cooking things I never would have otherwise. Story 10 I bought these rubber valve toppers for the baby pouch snacks. My daughter is still too young to understand how to hold them without causing a volcano of puree to shoot out the top, but she really wants to hold them herself, so it prevents that from happening. But she also doesn't understand how to get the puree from the bottom of the pouch while she's sucking on it, so she fumbles with it for a while before she eventually gets it all out. It's basically a Kong toy but for a toddler. Story 11 Suspenders. Inbuilt like a bowling pin and belts don't work. The Aveeno Eczema Gel. I deal with multiple variations of itchy skin eczema on my eyelids and ears, hives from my cats and others animals, skin irritation from products or contact with specific clothing or bed sheets. It changed the game for me, breaking out into hives. Add some of the gel and I'm good as new. See a patch of eczema starting on one of my eyelids, slap that SHI on. Just have a freaking itch I can't shake, apply, gone, like nothing happened in minutes. I've added it to my skincare routine after I moisturize and it'll always be a product I have on hand. I have some in my bathroom and purse always. Recommended it to others who have battled eczema for years and it cleared it up for them too. Fantastic product. Edit to answer some questions. It's the Rescue Relief Gel in the pump. I did not know there was a different type. My apologies. It could definitely also work for just dry patches of skin. I have done that before. It's very hydrating. A little goes a long way. Story 12 Also getting cat litter delivered to the front door instead of carrying those buckets out of a store. NGL. The day I realized I could do that was a big day, huh? Story 13 Brown Hairspray. I'm a woman whose hair went gray early and spraying my part in between appointments makes me feel so much better than walking around with gray roots. Story 14 Sounds stupid, but my stress diary. It's a small book and every time I get mad or STH is too much for me I write down my thoughts and or what I want to say at it helps calm me down. I have avoided many arguments with it and ever since I've started carrying it around with me about a year ago, I've only had 3 or 4 panic attacks. Before, I basically had one every day I didn't stay at home. Story 15 A Vampire Fish Sticker. Why do you ask? Because it kicked off a conversation that ultimately had a multi-year butterfly effect that led to me meeting and marrying my wife. Story 16 Sulfurate. I've had scalp psoriasis issues for 25 years. One application per week has kept it at bay. Edit I forgot to mention the fact that I would use hair grease and coconut oil with minimal results, and I've only discovered this product 8 months ago. Story 17 I got this little rubber face brush to wash with for under $4. I've been getting these facial treatments for a couple months that resulted in lots of dead skin coming off after I washed my face. I had just been using my hands and bar soap before. Every time I washed, the dead skin just wouldn't stop coming off, resulting in me getting impatient as I was on a timer to leave the house. So I would compensate by using a wet towel to scrub the SHD out of my face so I didn't look like I dunked my head in salt. I ended up with eczema around my chin, which was even worse looking and also painful. This little rubber face brush gently exfoliates my skin and makes it so smooth that it squeaks. I have never felt so clean in my life. Grew up using Ives facial scrub, which would overwork the skin and make me break out more. No more irritation-based acne. Story 18 Egg Drawer. I have a small fridge and you'd think it would be a waste of space giving even less fridge space. But no, holds 24 eggs, allows me to easily stack stuff on top of it and still access the eggs. The space the egg cartons used to sit are now taken up with bottles and other odd-shaped vertical items for more efficient use of space. It's the best and stupidest purchase. Story 19 $3 store back scratchers. One I keep in the car, one I keep next to my recliner in the living room, and one on my headboard in my bedroom. Very well, maybe the greatest decision I ever made. Story 20 probiotics for my dog. Apparently she had some intestinal issues that were causing her to inside and sometimes on the bed. She got a UTI, so the vet gave her probiotics. The pooping inside didn't happen on the probiotics, but it came back when she ended the vet supply. I bought some off Amazon. One a day, 30 for a month, and she's no longer pooping inside. I sleep easier and do less laundry. Story 21 I love this thing. Story 22 There are some that come to mind: acne patches. The cheapest I have found for acne patches is the Good Molecules brand. This has saved me from bad acne forming. An acne spatula. This helps clear up my facial acne alongside my skincare routine. I do this every morning and in the evening. The results are worth it. Those over-the-door multi-coat hangers. This helps with organization. I hang my robe on there to encourage my morning routine. Next to my alarm clock carabiners. I mainly use them for keys, but they have come in handy for hanging up certain things, e.g. backpacks. A small parts toolbox organizer for loose items, e.g. rubber bands, twist ties, paper clips, etc. Binders on a shelf to keep track of certain documents, e.g. vet info for my dogs, manuals and warranties, etc. Story 23 Electric nail clippers are a total lifesaver. I could never get the hang of the manual ones. They always left a mess. And I'd end up neglecting my nails or just biting them when they got too long. But with an electric clipper, it's effortless. It trims and files them so smoothly that they look professionally done, and there's zero cleanup.
No more jagged edge, no more frustration, juste perfect nail every time.
Story 24 Microwave splatter cover. A vented hood that covers your explodey foods and snacks so you never again have to worry about degunking the top and sides. Story 25 A hair cutting kit. I used to pay $35 every month for a haircut, including tip. Eventually, I got frustrated with spending so much on something so simple, especially for my kind of haircut, so I bought a hair cutting kit from Costco for around $30 back in 2019. I started cutting my own hair with some finishing touches for my spouse, and over time I got good enough to do it entirely on my own. Then the pandemic hit and that new skill became incredibly useful. If you do the math, it has saved me over $2,200 over the years, and now I never have to worry about going to a salon. Sometimes I even give myself 2 haircuts a month. Story 26 The bug bite thing. It's a suction cup, looks like a syringe but no needles. For $10 on Amazon that pulls out the venom when you get a bug bite. Works way better than you think. If you do it too hard for too long it'll create a red mark. But keeping that in mind, it's perfect. Story 27 Bluetooth OBDI car diagnostic tool with a pro version of the software for it. Usually $15.5. There are a ton of easy car fixes you can do for yourself if you know the exact error codes. Go buy an 80 part, replace it yourself, save $500. I don't know how many times I've used it. I've probably saved over $5,000 in my life by getting my hands a little dirty doing minor repairs by myself. Story 28 As a bartender on my feet all day that sometimes works outside. Gold Bond body powder, especially applied to the nether regions. I haven't chafed in years. Story 29 I get too warm at night but can't sleep without a blanket, so I got a little fan with a clip to attach to the bed frame and point at me while I sleep. It's improved my sleep, which has been bad my entire life, more than anything else I've ever tried. Also, this feels like cheating because it was a lucky thrift store find. But I have this really sturdy leather jacket I got ages ago for like $1, and it's perfect for dealing with the crazy windstorms I get in my city. Story 30 LED strip lights with motion detectors. One under my bed and another in the bathroom. Makes going to the bathroom in the middle of the night so much easier. Story 31 An inexpensive rice cooker from Target. Makes it so easy to make rice or couscous as a starch with meals. Put some chicken in the air fryer and it's easier than messing with DoorDash. Story 32 Roto V eye drops. Have perpetually bloodshot eyes. Had never used a drop with an astringent. I don't recommend using an astringent eye drop every day. Seems to create the need for more and more. But that day I needed to not look super baked, even though, coincidentally, I was super baked. Story 33 A12 milk frother. Yep, that tiny little handheld thing that whirs like a bee on espresso. I used to think fancy lattes were only for coffee shops. This little gadget turned my boring morning coffee into something that actually feels like a treat. I'm talking CAF vibes in pajamas. Story 34 Tongue scraper. Hands down the best thing for oral hygiene. Kind of gross, but very satisfying to scrape your tongue and see all the nasty stuff be gone. Story 35 Earplugs. Not the store brand ones but slightly pricier like loops or pluggers. I started sleeping with earplugs 4 years ago and now I can sleep everywhere basically as long as I wear them. Amazing to not wake up startled by noise 8 times a night. Story 36 Clean Easy Electrolysis Kit from Amazon. I zapped most of my lower leg hairs during quarantine and I don't have to shave there anymore. Takes forever, but I was stuck at home for about 2 months so. Story 37 Rice cooker. I'm a Chinese and I need my rice. I used to cook rice in a pot because I was a college student and then my parents got me a small rice cooker with a little steamer tray and it's fantastic. Come back, toss food in and start the cooker, and shower, and it's ready when I get out. Story 38 Bliss Makeup Melting Face Wash. I added it as a second step in my face wash routine. It's cleared my skin so much it wasn't bad before, but my skin has been looking amazing since using it. Story 39 I'm a compulsive note-taker at work with many notebooks and a history of breaking pencils. I have a 30 Lamy metal pencil which has been going strong for 10 years now and I've used it pretty much every workday during that time. Story 40 A retractable back scratcher thing. I don't even use it to scratch my back, but it's great for getting stuff from under the couch, especially my dog's toys. Story 41 I bought a 10 stethoscope from Amazon to add to my doctor's outfit for a costume party. I've never had so many women offer me their breasts for examination. Story 42 High-fidelity earplugs by Automotive. I had very sensitive hearing as a kid and used to sit through movies in the theater with my hands over my ears the entire time. I could hear CRT tubes turning on from the other side of the house. I basically got used to never going to concerts and rarely going to movies because of my dislike of loud noise, unless I had those crappy disposable plugs that distort the sound. These plugs aren't meant to be one and done. You're supposed to keep them in good condition and reuse them, and they're tuned to keep the sound properly balanced so everything sounds like it always does, just at a more reasonable volume. I've used them at concerts, theaters, big convention stage shows, etc. I no longer feel like a social pariah fleeing venue shows. Story 43 Lego Set 7915, the Imperial V-Wing. My parents got it for me after I played the Lego Star Wars video game and I thought the pilot was Darth Vader. 16 years later I still love Lego. Story 44 Prescription for 50 mg sildenafil pills, roughly 25,000. Things were not quite working the same when I got to about 55 years old. We would have threesomes, and I could tell it wasn't quite right, which then gets in your head so you start worrying, which makes it worse. I went to the DR and explained it how I just wrote it for you to read. He did a prescription for 30 of the 50 mg sildenafil tablets. I can get that every 30 days. The prescription lasts for 12 refills, so a year. It has costed as low as $7 and as much as $25. It seems to change each time I refill. Total life game changer. I cannot express enough that if you are a male that it seems like you are not as hard as you think you used to be. You are correct. The change was amazing. Not hard sticking straight out, but straight up like when you were 16 trying to pee with a morning hard on. You needed to bend forward to hit the water. If you are a guy, you know what I mean. Oh, no more having her you to get you hard, and then you go down on her for 5 minutes, and you come back up and you are soft and she wants some and you can't. You can eat that thing for 20 minutes and when she says I want you to me, you come up and are as hard as when she was sucking you. Total life change. Story 45 Any cheap material product that is marked up by vendors. My 90-cent phone case off Temu has held well over the past 2 years. I got a mini digital thermometer for $1.50 that is just as accurate as my 21 from a store. Story 46 2 Plastic and wire cheese slicer. Only discovered it last week. Somehow, there was my life before the cheese slicer, and my life after the cheese slicer. Story 47 Free and clear laundry detergent. Turns out my skin is sensitive, and normal detergent was causing rashes breakout sec. Haven't had an issue since switching. I wish I did it years ago. Story 48 CeraVe Cleanser Moisturizer. They have all the backed skincare additives. It doesn't irritate my skin, and you can get a big bottle for a decent price. My skin has never felt or looked better. I legit can't live without it. Story 49 Those handheld back massages with the attachments. Cheaper versions are like $30 but still work fabulous. I've worked out sinus congestion, leg spasms, sore shoulders, old injury and everything else. That thing is worth its weight in gold. Story 50 Honeywell programmable light switch for my front porch lights. Comes on at dusk every day, automatically changes throughout the year and off at 11 p.m. House looks occupied even when I'm away, so nice to come home from work to the lights on in the winter. I don't forget to turn them off at night and waste electricity. Story 51 Ultra Slim Wallets. Like Camino, Slimfold, Mighty Wallet, Eccentric, etc. I just can't go back to bulky wallets without quick card access. Made of paper or leather, and I love that the design is origami inspired. Story 52 You know how when you mop you get that little dirty line right up against the baseboards. You have to get down on your hands and knees and scrub it or bend over. I'm getting too old to get up off of the floor. I went on Amazon and I got a brush on a long handle. I just use that when I mop and it is absolutely wonderful. Cost me less than $15. Story 53 An insert funnel that goes in yard waste bags. Keeps them open and from falling over. Example. Story 54 Anything oral hygiene related. For a relatively cheap amount, you can save thousands. And also it helps you get laid more. Invest in your oral hygiene, folks. Story 55 An emery board. So much better than dealing with hangnails all the freaking time. Edit I should mention, I'm a guy. I know girls already know about emery boards, but none of my guy friends will listen to me about how great they are. Story 56 Fog less mirror for inside the shower. Been so much better about shaving my face because of it. Get one that uses hot water to keep it fogless, as opposed to one that uses a coating. Story 57 15 Long jumper cables. Nobody who ever needs a jump start ever parked in a decent enough position to facilitate jump starting with those short cables. Story 58 Epoxy putty. I bought some online for really cheap. I fixed a fridge rack, created a hook to hold kitchen items, fixed the frayed ending of a wire, fixed a screwdriver handle, and plenty more with it. I easily save hundreds of dollars not replacing stuff I just fixed. Now I see applications for putty everywhere. Story 59 The Tangle Teaser. A palm-held brush that costs less than 10. It brushes out the most intense tangles quickly and can brush through wet hair without breakage. Story 60 Small white noise machine with a nightlight. My kids were terrible sleepers in their early years. Like, the first 2 kids didn't sleep through the night until they were past 2 years old, which means we didn't sleep through the nights during those times either. With our third and last kid, after he was over a full year, and still not sleeping through the nights, I discovered in some overly exhausted middle-of-the-night settling comforting that if I just shushed him for as long as I can, like, a super long shushing for as long as I could breath out, and then a deep breath and repeating it, he would actually pretty quickly settle to sleep. I think the second night when I did it and it worked again, it finally clicked for me that a white noise machine would make the same sound, so I think I did like a next-day Amazon order or something to get one, immediately kept him sleeping fully through the night. I still kick myself for not doing it sooner with the older kids. I probably took years off my life with such poor sleep for so much time. Story 61 Articulating tablet holder mounted over my bed. A tablet a foot from your face is in some ways better than a bit screen TV. Combined with decent headphones and result is I spend way too much time in bed. Story 62 600 Yoga socks. Prevent sliding when doing one-legged tree pose. Also discovered they work great as no-show socks because they have a little crisscross strap in front. Peds and other no-show socks slide under my heel and drive me crazy. Story 63 Small heating pad. Now that I'm middle-aged, anytime I pull a muscle I can wrap the heating pad around it, alternate with ice pack and limit the damage. Also great to lie on for period cramps. Story 64 The MSF Motorcycle Safety Foundation course training in Ohio around 1995 or so. It was $25 then. Some states don't subsidize the cost as much, so the price will vary. A lifesaver and confidence builder. Got much better at writing. Story 65 For the worst cigarettes. I've since quit cigarettes. Even once I quit, I was still addicted. I still am addicted. I just don't smoke anymore. For the better jump rope. Made me feel like exercising could be fun and was the start of a much more active lifestyle. For the best premium dating app access for a month. First ever date resulted in a 3-year relationship. Hear me out. Plan B. These things are a headache saver. Story 66 At the time it may have been under 30, the cedar spin mop. I was seriously depressed and that thing got me excited about cleaning and getting done.